especially a best-of-3 environment where you have to make these adaptations.
All right, picks and bans for game number 2. ESC Ever versus CJ Entus. The Z ban coming out against BDD right away.
Well, so much for that.
Oh.
Ashe ban against Loken. That's a huge respect ban after the last game, but you see that level of execution on Ashe, and you have to be a little bit scary.
Yeah,
or scared. Especially when you're playing, you're playing Ezreal and Braum, and he's still able to do that to you.
I know.
You can't let that go through anymore.
Well, you can't imagine that CJ's going to pick Braum this game because it doesn't matter. they might as well pick a support with a bit more utility if they're just going to fire spears and arrows into you anyway, and the shield doesn't make a bit of difference. There's a Kindred ban now.
So we are seeing actual jungle bans this time, which is interesting. No jungle bans at all in our first game of the evening.
Kindred and Nidalee banned out now. So what's the final ban for ESC Ever?
On, for example, the Rek'Sai in the last series, and it will be Azir, so no Azir first pick.
All right. Not wanting to deal with Temp's Azir, but they are going to first pick the Ryze. That pick crucially left open. You have to wonder how wise it was to leave the Ryze.
Is it wise to leave the Ryze?
We can only surmise.
That's true. And will it be a flex pick is going to be the next question. It does rarely appear in the top side. Haru taking a look right now at that Rek'Sai. We did see the return of Rek'Sai for Africa in our last series.
And this Lucian pick would be pretty par for the course for CJ to pick that up. Kramer obviously a great Lucian player, and Lucian extremely strong right now.
Interesting to prioritize the Ryze over that. So Rek'Sai with Titanic Hydra, the new hot topic in Korean solo queue.
Hot topic. There's a story I never thought I would think about again since high school.
Do those exist in America anymore?
You know, funny enough, I was in LA in March and I saw one. They do still
wow.
exist. They
Impressive.
do. At least they exist in Hollywood.
I feel like that was such a relic of the late 90s and early 2000s.
No kidding, man. If I want a place to go buy Limp Bizkit t-shirts, I know where to go. Gragas and Caitlyn would be an interesting couple pickups. The Gragas especially.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see the Gragas.
There we go.
Even in the top lane, it hasn't been seeing a lot of use as of late, and we still have many top lane picks possible. Maokai falling surprisingly far down the draft. Ever may have something in store for Untara if he selects that particular champion. And Caitlyn saw its power with 2 items. Oh, okay. So Varus.
Cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, and you'd have to kind of assume that's going to AD carry because we've got the Ryze in the game. Do you think there's a chance of a top lane Ryze, maybe?
They must have some sort of idea about the Varus and Lucian matchup. I agree with you, Doa. You're probably going to save that Ryze for a flex pick.
Yeah.
So trying to poke out the Lucian, abuse his low range early, and have a strong mid-game power spike, but there's not a lot of synergy between Varus and Ryze when it comes to hitting a mid-game power spike for a siege composition, so I'm not sure how much I like this team comp yet. Obviously, the gank synergy is there. Rune Prison straight into Cocoon is really, really threatening.
I mean, and you've got the Chains of Corruption from Varus as well, so honestly, they're definitely setting up a pick comp, yeah. That seems fairly obvious. So,
Veigar?
Ooh, that would be interesting. Something we have not seen for a while, not since Worlds last year.
Yeah.
Veigar Maokai.
Veigar and Maokai.
Huh.
Very interesting.
What do you think about Veigar right now? Obviously, he can do a lot of damage. You know, if you think about the Infernal Dragon buff, that adds a lot of a burst potential, I suppose.
Yeah, and when we take a look at Veigar these days, he did have, of course, some minor changes in the update.
Yeah.
So he has a new, like a sort of updated passive right now, where he still gains the AP as he stacks it up. So it's basically another stacking champion, basically.
Yeah.
And
stacking up that phenomenal evil.
He's an interesting name for sure.
Phenomenal.
He's a great finisher because he deals damage based on missing health. So you're trying to actually burst somebody down.
Right.
So you think he'd probably be pretty useful with a poke composition. Then you poke somebody out and just explode them, basically. They will have some poke damage here, but the Veigar and the Maokai. So, Ever now looking for this last pick, and they are going to pivot into a mid lane Varus with a Caitlyn and a Bard.
Wow, okay.
So, lots of CC. This is going to be a very execution-heavy comp from Ever, because they've got a lot of poke. They have an okay 4-1 split push with the Rise against the Maokai. But a lot of these, why I say it's going to be execution-heavy, is they don't have much of a front line. So they're going to have to chain their crowd control exceptionally well. Bard ult into Chain of Corruption, for example, or Cocoon or Rune Prison, and open up the team fight that way.
I mean, Key performed really well on that Bard last game, so you have to respect his ability to do that again. And Mad Life thinking of picking up the Thresh here.
You do wonder if this is a time for Braum, actually.
Could be.
To block some of the incoming poke damage, but they may just want to get some picks. They don't see a lot of strong members on Ever, and if the Thresh is locked in, the idea here is that we're going to see effectively pick comp versus pick comp, a lot of strong single target CC from Maokai, Thresh, and from the Rek'Sai.
Yeah.
Especially when you combine that with the Event Horizon able to catch people off guard. Ever, if there's a flank from a Maokai here, it's going to be really hard for them to disengage.
Well, I mean, it feels like ESC is the team that needs to get something done in the early game.
Yeah, low mobility composition though from Ever. As we take a look at these champions one more time. Notably, there were some Veigar bans on this patch in the EU Challenger Series, which is one of the very few points of data that we have for this patch so far. So some people, at least on the European amateur side of things, feeling that this is going to be a threatening pick, and it's going to come through right now, and especially in that mid lane with Tempt, you have to be very careful not to get caught inside the Event Horizon.
Yeah, for sure. A lot riding on a BDD to perform on that Veigar. His picture, though, kind of looks like one of those middle school pictures where they're like, tilt up your chin, please. Turn your head slightly. Okay, perfect. That's exactly how you look in real life.
Kramer, meanwhile, gets the badass shushing pose.
It's like, shh.
It's like, quiet.
Let me auto-attack you. Oh, yeah. So, should be an interesting game. And, again, you know, our first series of the day, I thought it had a good chance of going to Game 3. I think this one does, too. CJ's got to perform with this pick comp. And to their credit, it is something different than we've been seeing them do. It is something new. And now the question is, can they make it work? We'll find out, guys, as we go into game number 2 between ESC Ever and CJ Entus right about now. Okay, welcome back to Summoner's Rift, or whatever this map should be called. It's been a debate all night, and the other debate we've sort of been having is, can CJ make a comp different than their usual fair work as they try to tie up the series versus ESC Ever, a rookie team in LCK performing very well in their first game.
Yep, taking a look at his Q, Baleful Strike right now.
Yep. Phenomenal evil.
I don't really know why he's so evil. Actually, I really don't care about his lore, or any champion's lore.
It's kind of like a joke, because he's usually tiny.
I agree, the lore in League of Legends is like a joke. Good point, Doa. I agree.
I was reading Tarek's new lore, and it was like he was like the guardian of like beauty and stuff, but then he was like fired for dereliction of duty. I mean, what does that mean exactly? Did he wear an outfit that his bosses didn't approve of? You know, did he forget to put makeup on one morning? Like, how do you not? Ooh, magical journey.
Tricky.
This is
you don't expect
cheesy. Kramer coming to the brush. They're gonna jump onto him. Kramer tries to flash away, fails it. There's the exhaust. Gonna be first blood going over to Loken. I love this team.
Dirty.
I love these guys.
And you know what the best part about that is, Doa, is
what?
that they surpassed the normal level 1 wards because nobody expects Bard to take Magical Journey at level 1 and just to cheese you like that.
Oh,
but bless.
So good.
Kramer panic flashes there, doesn't make it over the wall.
Oh, man.
And this lane is going to be a nightmare now. It was already going to be bad in the early game due to the range on Caitlyn and Bard with that Thunderlords. And now, oh boy.
Yeah, they're going to get that level 2 first. Oh boy. Level 2 for Loken already.
That was some great cheese.
It was good. As someone
Delicious.
who was born in Wisconsin, I approve of that cheese 100%. That was some Wisconsin-worthy cheese.
I'm sure they'd be proud if they knew what Wisconsin cheese was, though.
Oh yeah, it's the best cheese in the U.S.
That's right. You didn't say world because France exists, but
well,
close.
I haven't had every amount of cheese from around the world, but I've had a good amount from the U.S. Wisconsin is objectively the best.
I don't know. Vermont cheddar is pretty boss.
We don't even need to put the name of our state on our cheese to make it important. We just make it. People know where it's from. Well, Kramer, yeah, certainly in a little bit of trouble. Down a lot of CS early on after getting cheesed out.
Well, 17-5. Well,
Yep.
Bless. We do see some reaction here, right? Haru is going to punish him for that by 3-buffing him, but that is a very small price to pay for getting in there and creating some havoc early on.
Yeah, for sure. It's like our intro says, chaos. ESC, certainly living up to that.
Well, it wasn't too chaotic. Well planned.
It was chaotic for CJ. They certainly weren't expecting that. Infernal Dragon. I'm pretty sure it's always the Infernal Dragon first.
Okay.
All 4 games tonight, man. Pretty sure.
All right, there, though.
I mean, that would kind of like be like the
It's
Dragon
not, it's
was
a random
before.
spot.
4 times in a row. That's a pretty remarkable set of events for a 25% chance.
You're right.
I'm going to lean towards me being right on this.
Okay. You do that.
All right. I will.
I'm going to lean towards me being right.
We generally do. I think this is about right for who we both think is right in certain circumstances. Or every circumstance.
Okay.
Well, we do have normal lanes, so no lane swap this time around.
No lane swap indeed. But that has turned into a bit of a disaster.
Can you tweet at Monty and tell him that it's always Infernal Drake first?
It's
Please.
not.
OGN Legion, do this for me.
All right, TP up first here from Crazy. Gets back. A little bit interesting that he would TP. Doesn't immediately need to do that to catch this wave.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised by that.
He gets his tier about as early as possible. And, well, that was actually really a weird TP. I don't know what he was expecting.
I mean, I guess he just wanted to start stacking that tier as fast as possible.
Well, he can stack it while he walks by just throwing around Qs.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel the same. You don't feel like you're really doing anything, you know? Every Q is precious.
Every Q is precious. Is that your motto?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, bully lane continuing right here. Kramer has done a good job of catching up where he can. And we are going to see a little bit of a freeze. Ping's coming out right now. Maokai MIA. And, of course, with his TP still up, you don't want to take any risks right there. And back to regular old laning. But scaling will be the name of the game forever. They want to hit that mid-game where they can effectively siege. They're going to have a little bit of a problem in that they're not going to be able to separate very well to farm all 3 waves. They're going to have Varus and Caitlyn grouped up here in a 4-1 split push to maximize their advantage.
That will be very strong. And, whoa, Untara getting locked down. Looks like Haru's there, though. Oh, but there's Bless. Haru's going to find him. Bless in a little bit of trouble. Meanwhile, Crazy going onto Untara, though. Bless trying to get back to his top lane. Untara with the twisted advance. Repel maybe will save him. It will. Yeah, Varus coming up from the mid lane, too. Tempt getting close. You know, you'd have to think Ever is really going to be looking for that Mountain Drake this time. That would be pretty
great
good
for them.
That'd be good for their comp.
Would be quite good, although with the poke damage from Varus, that damage is pretty much always going to be useful.
Yeah,
they're looking for a follow-up, but Crazy didn't burn his flash on that gank. He didn't commit to it, so he's going to have to now, though.
Oh, yeah, he's in big trouble. He may not even get a chance. Trying to flash away. Ooh, yeah, I don't know if I would have even used the flash.
He's got extra move
Haru's
speed.
low.
Yeah, he's fine.
Wow,
he had
Rise is strong. Man.
He was able to get a little bit of extra move speed out of that one. So not going to be too concerned. Does kite well enough. And problematic matchup for this Maokai. He just can't get in range and will constantly be on the worst end of those trades. There's that cowl, and there's the AoE damage coming through. Clear out that wave. Montara still has his TP up, hasn't been forced to use it yet.
So, it will be a little bit awkward if Crazy does have to go back to get some mana.
Well, the scary thing for CJ is that this is a double tier composition, so they want to prey on this power spike right now. Hunter does take that with a smite. Bless doesn't want to force it away, but that's actually huge, because if they can get the blue buff onto Tempt now, they're going to have a really big pressure advantage when it comes to wave clearing in the mid lane, and that will be very helpful to setting up an early tower kill.
Makes sense. Meanwhile, Tempt has been able to get a little bit of a CS lead over BDD. BDD not connecting with that Varus trap.
Varus trap.
That's right. Or the Veigar trap, rather. Event Horizon.
Good times.
Yep. Good times. As usual.
Well, Ever's going to be perfectly fine with this situation. If CJ wants to slowly lose out on farm while the double tier stacks, Ever is in a good place in their game plan. Crazy little low mana right now is going to recall actually out of that tri-brush, and Varus is going to get the blue buff, so now is the time. Loken is going to go for the BF sword into Hurricane build, so providing that additional AD damage for harassment in the lane, and then moving straight into wave clear so he can get into a sieging position as early as possible. So we're going to steal away some of these Krugs.
Whenever I forget what Veigar's abilities are called, I just think, what's that Sam Neill movie? Oh yeah, Event Horizon. Now I remember it.
I love Sam Neill so much.
Me too. Dr. Alan Grant. And a vampire Grant.
I liked him as Merlin, personally.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. An interesting casting choice from Merlin. We see those every once in a while, though. Well, a calm before the storm. ESC Ever. Pretty close to probably where they want to be to really start putting some pressure on. We'll see what the buy is now. Okay, so Zeal for Loken.
Tempt went for Merc Treads really fast.
Yeah.
So a little bit of extra MR against the burst power of the Veigar, and also making sure that he's not going to get trapped for too long in the Event Horizon.
Probably a good idea.
But getting that before even upgrading to the Mana Mune is a bit of a surprise.
Oh, wow! They find Haru just on his own. Haru tries to get out. Bless follows him with the repel. Can't quite get there. Uh-oh, he's in the Event Horizon now. Flashes out of it.
Wow, Temp flashed for that, too. That was such a huge setup. Key's going to lurk in the brush right now.
It's like, nobody sees me. But nobody's around. He has to back away. Loken was kind of far.
Wow, wow, wow. So that was a tricky play. You can see how accustomed Ever is to just pulling the trigger with that.
Yeah.
Didn't end up working out. Haru had luckily for him, had a tunnel right there. Still had to burn flash, but that's 2 flashes for 1, so CJ comes out the better end of the deal.
Yeah.
Bless is going to be seen as he wraps around through the tri-brush onto the pink ward, doesn't clear it out in the river, at least just yet, wants to go for the Scuttle Crab first. Temp feeling very comfortable in this lane. He's been able to zone BDD out.
Yeah, constantly having the CS lead, constantly getting a little poke damage onto that turret. In good shape.
So, yeah, everything. Oh, that was a meep.
Oh, yeah, creepy.
More like meepy.
Maybe we should just call them creeps instead of meeps.
We already have creeps in this game, Doa.
No, we have minions.
Yeah, whatever.
Big difference. Whoa, fight over the Raptor. Haru slowed up for the moment, but he gets out.
Ah, yes. I love waiting for tiers to stack, don't you, Doa?
It's true.
It's your favorite part of the game?
Yeah, actually, how did you know? It is. Tempered Fate, flashed out of by Mad Life.
Trying to set that up. They knew that Bless was coming down through the tri-brush and there weren't wards in there. Perhaps a moment to make that play. Crazy will be the unfortunate recipient of a trade there from Untara, but man, Untara gets really far forward right there.
Yeah, Untara may not want to 1v1 the Rise like that.
Thought he had an opportunity, considering they did ping out Bless towards that bottom lane.
Meanwhile, in the bot lane, remember Mad Life. Still keeping a little bit of pressure on. But the CS lead for Tempt has been slowly growing.
Yeah, you really have to give Kramer a lot of credit for actually doing okay in this lane.
Yeah.
Yes, Lucian's very strong right now, but to actually bounce back after losing your flash and dying right at level 1 is pretty tough, especially when you're against an AD carry who has such an incredibly long range like Caitlyn does.
Yeah, and no dragons yet for either team.
No standard lane, so it has been a little bit harder. We're taking a look at some of the stacks right now. 74 is the number currently.
It's a lot of phenomenal evil.
Just incredibly evil. That's what Vhagar is, I guess.
Yep, so evil, man. He's just misunderstood.
So 74 additional AP. Not bad for 13 minutes.
76 now.
Uh-oh.
That's a lot. That is a lot of EP.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Well, Haru gets the Rift Scuttler in the end. That turret down to a little bit less than half health now.
Yeah, this is the problem, right? Is that this matchup has caused some pain here in the mid lane. Serrated Dirk also for Tempt, so he is going to be not getting that Manamune anytime soon, and going for some armor penetration to punish BDD, who has just a Morellonomicon right now.
You know, throughout all this, though, CJ has kept pretty good vision around the Dragon area. So they haven't really given ESC any opportunities to grab that yet. They really could use it.
Yeah, the question now for me, Doa, is what is this Caitlyn going to do with a finished Hurricane? You going to come into the mid lane, help Tempt push up, and really try and secure that mid lane turret, which is somewhat of a core to your strategy, but she's going right back into the lane and just pushing that way, so where is the pressure going to come down? What is the strategy going to be?
Well, I suppose with standard lanes, if you left bot, it'd be really easy for Kramer to just push that lane up. You know?
Yeah, of course. That's why this composition's a little awkward.
All right, skanking time. Bless coming from behind. Untara trying to rope back down through the tri-brush. Gets caught up. Cocoon misses, and that is the end of that one.
Bad show from Bless.
Ooh.
The Rune Prison came in, and he had a stationary target and still missed the skill shot.
I mean, a little bit of a miscommunication there, I suppose, because obviously he wouldn't have thrown the cocoon ahead if he knew that Rune Prison was coming down.
Could have just misclicked it, man. You never know, but
it's true.
Certainly should have expected the possibility of a Rune Prison right there.
I suppose.
More traps.
Yep.
Kramer's thing is, when you go for Hurricane first, you're going to lose out on some of your trade advantages that you might have been able to acquire. Against Lucian, who is taking a much more trade-appropriate item when it comes to those 1v1s with the Youmuu's Ghostblade. CJ thinks this is the time.
Yeah, and it might be, actually. ESC Ever.
I don't know if it is.
Well, Tempered Fate actually catches Kramer. Can they go through with the magical journey? Not quite. He's going to escape on the Lantern. Dragon turning now onto Bless. He's going to do a little bit more damage. Nice hook from Mad Life. Repel immediately saves Bless. He's going to flash away. Mad Life drops a box, gets exhausted. Nearly a kill. They're going to flash forward, and Logan picks one up.
Great
and that
play by
should
Logan.
mean an Infernal Dragon for Ever as well.
Yeah, they're going to get that.
Turnaround.
Meanwhile, Untara and Crazy just preventing each other from TP, and Crazy actually got his canceled right there, looks like, by Untara.
Yeah.
With a W. A little bit hard to see what happened to that top side, but given the little skirmish, we'll just assume that's what happened. Look at that. Cleanse forced to be used.
The BDD gets very low, and this may mean the mid lane turret's going to go over to ESC Ever.
Yeah, he's been grinding away at that mid lane turret for quite some time, and now he will be rewarded. Crazy getting aggressive, though.
Yeah, in a 1v1, it looks like he can take out Untara. Misses that Q, though.
Yeah, he sees that Untara doesn't have any mana or really a lot of mana regeneration right now. Let's take a look at this fight again, though. So it's a nice hook by Madlife. Bless gets caught, but immediately repels the flay. And watch Loken right here, because he plays so well around the outside. Box has already been broken, so he just walks forward, and he doesn't hit it, immediately flashes to pick up that kill.
And then they turn onto the Dragon. Easy pickup. And now that 8% damage boost exists for Ever. A hook on the key, though. Uh-oh, he gets caught. He may be in big trouble here. Magical Journey, that was weird. Got popped out the side of it somehow.
I think he got flayed?
He
got flayed.
Yes? I didn't know that could pop you out of Magical Journey. I guess it can. Either way, he lives.
Doesn't even have to use his flash.
Interesting.
So here we go, the pressure now down the bottom side. Caitlyn is nowhere to be found.
And we knew this was going to happen.
Question is, do you use the Bartle? It's almost off cooldown.
Maybe. No, they're going to
Yeah, throw it.
Well, he's not. We're going to let it go.
Okay,
I mean, they got the mid lane turret. That's ultimately the more important objective, I suppose, between these two teams.
That's true, Noah, but the problem that Ever has now is what are the ideal lanes to assign? Because you can't overextend into the mid lane with the Varus or the Caitlyn, otherwise you could get picked off by the many forms of crowd control that CJ has when they collapse on you. You can't really send... Are you going to send Varus and Caitlyn together into a side lane right now? That's super awkward. So that's the problem with this composition, is once you get to this phase of the game and you're Ever, where do you go? How do you apply pressure? And the answer is they're going to 5-man topside, apparently, which is about all you can do, realistically.
Yeah. I mean, if anything else, it just accelerates kind of the pace of the game.
Yeah, they need to keep sieging, right? They need to play around this advantage as much as they can, but they don't have anybody to clear this wave, so CJ's just going to respond with potentially a tier 2 tower right now. Now it's going to awkwardly wander around the map. So they're going to try and take 2 tier 2s in response. They've pinged out both tier 2 turrets right now. And they're just going to try and play a speed game here.
BDD, Event Horizon on the key. That's a lot of damage. Tempered Fate misses.
Yeah, it was just to get him out. They just want to keep pushing. So Antara's here, though, only the Ryzen. This is the 4-1 that we were talking about. This is basically the only option that Ever has right now.
Wow, and they're actually going to be able to get those 2 tier 2s that they were looking for. At least 1 tier 2 and 1 tier 1 anyway.
But there's still this problem.
Yeah, they're all recalling, but I don't think they can save this turret. It's low.
They don't have home guard yet.
Wow.
They don't have home guard yet either.
Yeah.
So they lose it.
Yep.
Well, that's sometimes in compositions you have to talk about what are they going to do in the mid and late game. What is the goal of their composition? But against what CJ has, all of them are afraid to split push. So you have to group like that, and you end up trading 2 for 2 turrets, except now you have a naked inhibitor.
Yeah.
Fortunately for them, there isn't really a split pusher on CJ who's going to be able to take advantage of that. So now at least they have an opportunity to freeze a minion wave basically inside of their base and deny farm. It's just tough. Like I'm not a fan of Ever's comp for that reason. They don't have a way to reassign lanes that actually makes sense right now.
Well, they need to kind of do what they did last game now and just get picks.
I think they should have just tried for the base race. But
well, we may get to see that yet this game.
could have been hard without the Bard ultimate, though, to prevent BDD from wave clearing.
There's a pick. Magical Journey. Madlife flashes away, drops a box. It's not going to save him, though. Used his ult and a flash.
Okay, so here's the response, but there's a Maokai on the bottom side. It means Crazy has to recall immediately. He will get there before there's any kind of damage down onto the actual inhibitor.
Looks like it will be the tier 2 for Ever as well. So they get the kill, they get the turret, they keep their bot lane safe.
And Madlife should have been there.
Yep.
Waves were pushed up. Dangerous play. They're going to come by with a Rek'Sai right now. Gets clipped on his way through by a Cosmic Binding, but there will be no actual pressure applied to the inhibitor turret just yet. So Ever has this lead, but awkward is the name of the game.
Oh, they found Haru trying to take out that pink ward. It looks like Ever's going to get one instead.
Bless too. Not sure about this build. Has the Swifties and is going into the Ryleys now, but they really don't have a tank. So how does Ever win this game at this point? They can do Baron really fast, but they will take a lot of damage because of their lack of a real tank here.
Dragon coming up, and I believe I saw it was a mounted Drake, so that's one that ESC Ever would really love to get.
That would also help them take Baron, which they pretty much have to sneak in this game so that they can actually 5-man push or 4-1 split.
Yeah, and you can see Ever already moving towards that Dragon. I think they know exactly how important this one is. Yeah, mountain Drake.
Haru does take the Scuttle Crab. And
It's time. Ever needs this Dragon.
that's right.
CJ trying to block them off, using that Event Horizon to block up the choke point for the moment. Tempt is still in the mid lane. To look for an opportunity to take this one.
Yeah, the traps going down. Ever thorough in their approach.
They need to be. This is a very crucial Dragon. It looks like they're going to be able to get it. CJ waiting for that chance
Crazy
to come
is
TP
farming
in.
a jungle camp.
Dragon low. It looks like they will get it. Can they get out now? CJ taking the magical journey. They're going to get out, or ESC Ever rather, going to get out clean.
Wow, Crazy didn't even
Crucial.
TP for that.
Crucial.
Yeah, they force a TP from Antara, which is just basically a disaster right now because Crazy held firm in that top side and elected not to TP in.
Well, that is really big to be able to get that extra damage onto turrets, onto large minions.
Just the Baron. Now the Baron's
rather,
even
yeah.
scarier for CJ because with 280 carries and a rise, the Baron will explode instantaneously, especially with another 10% damage added on top of that.
Yeah, 10% damage.
So
bonus to
scary.
epic monsters and turrets.
Really, really scary stuff. And CJ
turret, too.
has to just keep eyes on this Baron at all possible times.
Yeah. Well, ESC Ever, I mean, you got to hand it to these guys. They know what it takes to win with this composition, and they're making it happen so far.
Yeah, despite any awkwardness that this composition has, CJ just has lost a lot early. But they're still in this one. Again, the 3,000 gold lead is not the biggest problem right now, especially when every target is so squishy. Veigar is a serious threat in the late game for just one-shotting pretty much anybody on this Ever team.
I wonder how much phenomenal evil he has right now. Probably a lot. It's probably very evil.
Riot's saying that phenomenal evil makes you more powerful. Therefore, they're endorsing evil.
I guess so.
Effectively.
Yeah. Well, who doesn't love a good amount of phenomenal evil?
There's no downside. You just get more power.
Apparently not.
And it looks like 116 stacks now.
Yeah, I believe so.
I think it is.
It just looks like 16 though.
Yeah, I think it's 116 though.
Must be. Interesting.
Well, it's probably, yeah, it's probably about 116. Hard to tell.
He gets caught. Uh-oh, Tempered Fates himself. Still gets picked. That was pretty bad for Ever. And now Baron is a possibility.
Crazy canceled his
up.
TP.
Oh, wow. This is a disaster for ESC Ever. They need to add more damage on. Temp trying to do it. Needs to get a good chain of corruption. Baron going down pretty slow for CJ. They're going to turn around on this. Loken and Temp doing damage. Chains of corruption does not
poke
connect.
is ridiculous.
It is. Utara goes down. Loken picks up his first kill. CJ forced off in a 3v5. Crazy finally gets up there. Haru comes back in, but Baron gets taken by Tempt. ESC Ever gets it. And that was a complete disaster for CJ Entus.
Wow, I'm shocked that they did that much damage with that poke, but the Rune's...
kidding.
The flash.
Oh, man.
He charged his Q and then flashed and released it to try and actually pick off BDD right there. Bless.
Beautiful.
He's going to tank that for a moment. When they have the minion wave in place, and look at this, they're just going to roll straight through to an inhibitor. But wow, that damage from Tempt and Crazy was just ridiculous. He's gone for basically pure armor penetration. Yomu's into the Lord Dominic's regard.
Check
but
this out.
This is a 3v5.
Yeah.
And they turn on to Bless, but he dodges the hook with Repel. Chain of Corruption misses, but they're just doing so much damage to BDD and Madlife right now that they have to get out of there. Otherwise, they're just going to get killed by the Baron.
Man, if Chain of Corruption had landed and the next Varus Q had landed, that would have been like 3 kills immediately. As it was, they just rocked CJ's world.
Wow, that was... but you have to criticize Ever there, too. The fact that play even existed again.
Yeah.
The teleport cancel from Crazy, meaning that he was stuck in the bottom side and couldn't even respond. It doesn't matter. I mean, of course it matters if Key dies right there, but what really matters is that you gave CJ a chance to 3v5 or 5v3 at a Baron, which is CJ didn't have it this time. They had enough poke to stop it, but those are pretty large mistakes that you will not be able to make against some of the top teams in this league.
Yeah. I mean, Ever's playing well. They're playing better than we expected, but this is not a team that would beat, you know, the Tigers or SK Telecom or KT probably.
Well, they're doing well enough right now. They're certainly starting out strong today and looking like they're just going to roll to a 2-0 over CJ.
Will. Seems that way. I mean, even the Maokai really can't stand up to the poke coming out of ESC Ever.
Well, not this early.
Ooh, Mad Life takes a big chunk of damage.
He also was forced to itemize for a lot of magic resist in the early stages of this game, and when you have a 3-item Caitlyn and this Varus who's just cutting through your armor with all that penetration.
Yep. Ever just casually recalling behind their wall of traps.
Their trap wall, good stuff.
Yeah.
Wow, 28 minutes and
ooh.
Interesting. The Muramon is still not done. That's weird.
Huh. Did he get it? No, he got that tier pretty early, didn't he?
Yeah.
Huh. I don't know. I don't know, man. Can't explain it. And this 3.5-minute Baron buff is just really annoying for CJ to deal with. Next Dragon coming up in 20 seconds. Not sure what element it is right now.
I don't think it's going to matter, Doa. I think this is a 9,000 gold lead at sub 30 minutes, and that Ever is doing a great job of pushing with their excellent siege composition. And this is a nightmare scenario, right?
Teleport coming in. Utara going to try to make a play from behind. Crazy's right there. You can't run into the Rise like that. Never mind about that play.
Would have been stopped with a Ruin Prison immediately, but how do you stop the Varus and the Caitlyn? They have a mid-game Baron right now, and they're just going to wreck you. This is basically a dream scenario for Ever.
And this Veigar is really just kind of falling flat. Not really doing a lot. Well, now, there we go. So he did some damage to Key, but not going to save their inhibitor.
Yeah, Key just goes ahead and uses Crucible on himself to get out of that sticky situation, and now CJ is sitting in their base with all 3 inhibitors dead.
Yep. Not looking good for CJ Entus in their first match of the season. But it's great, I think, to see one of our new teams come in and perform so well.
Absolutely. Again, a few rough patches, but
not perfect.
The talent that they have to work with is impressive.
Yeah.
And the Bless has really been delivering tonight for a guy who is in his first professional match.
Yeah. Not bad. And they're going to go for it. It's another Mountain Dragon, which is only going to make their siege just that much stronger. I mean, oh, wow.
It doesn't matter now, Noah.
No, but this kind of seals the deal, you know? 2 Mountain Drakes and Infernal Drake. That's pretty great. Now imagine if they get the Elder Drake on top of that. It's like 2-shotting turrets at that point.
All they have to do is slowly push up these super minion waves. They're already nearing the base as we speak. And this should be lights out for CJ Entus effectively.
They're looking that way, isn't it? Yeah, they're just going to walk right in. And CJ looking for one last desperate fight. They're the team fighting team. Well, this is a time to team fight. There goes Nexus turret number 1. Kramer pops that culling. They're going to go in. On to Crazy. Utara takes a lot of damage response immediately. Great 3-man tempered fate from Key. Oh boy, and there is the poke. Chains of Corruption lands.
Wow, Loken lived.
That's right. Somehow Loken survived that. The Nexus won't, though. And there it goes. A clean 2-0 from ESC Ever. Well, I wouldn't say clean, but fairly clean. Clean enough.
Clean enough to take that win. And strong early games regardless in both.
Right.
And again, a few errors when it came